Are you looking for a cool, funky hat to crochet? Then you've come to the right place. I'm Littlejohn Yarn. I create new patterns every single week, so grab your hook and yarn and let's hop into it. This crochet hat uses front post double crochet and back post double crochet to achieve this texture. Don't worry, I'll take you step by step in creating this funky hat. This pattern is created for the right-hand crocheter, but if you're a lefty, then you're in luck. I created the Sister Lefty pattern for this, and I'll leave a link above and in the description box below. You can also download the written PDF to follow along with this tutorial. I'll leave a link for that down below. Don't forget to grab your Littlejohn Yarns Crochets t-shirt so you can show your crochet style. Alright guys, let's hop right into this tutorial. The materials we'll be using for today are Red Heart Super Saver yarn, which is a worsted weight yarn. I chose this yarn because this pattern can be a yarn eater. We'll also be using a 4mm crochet hook and a 5mm crochet hook. We'll begin with a 5mm crochet hook. Alright, before we begin this pattern, I just want to let you know that throughout this pattern, you'll notice me changing between this teal yarn and white yarn. I'm doing this because you're able to see the stitches a little bit better with this yarn. So just be warned that I will be changing colors in the rest of this tutorial. Alright, we're going to begin by making a magic ring. Once you have your magic ring, chain 1. Throughout this tutorial, your chain 1 will not count as a stitch. We're going to place 10 double crochets into the ring. So 1 double crochet, 2, and 3. You can pause your video here, continue placing the remainder of your 10 double crochets into the ring, and I'll meet you back at the other side. Okay, we made it back around, and you can pull your tail to close off your ring. And we are going to slip stitch the join into the very first double crochet. And we're going to chain 1. Remember, your chain 1 does not count as a stitch. We're going to begin by doing our front post double crochet into the very first stitch. To do that, you yarn over, and you're going to go into the post of the previous row's double crochet. And push that stitch forward. And yarn over, and complete your double crochet as normal. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. And that is a front post double crochet. Your next stitch is going to be a double crochet right into this space between your 2 previous rows double crochet. So yarn over, go in between those 2 right here, and complete your double crochet. And that's going to be your pattern repeat throughout the row. I'll show you again. So we're going to do a front post followed by a double crochet. So front post, go into that next double crochet, push that post forward, and complete your front post double crochet. Next stitch, we're going to place 1 double crochet in between the previous row's double crochet. There we go. And I'll show you one more time. Front post. And then between the next 2 double crochets, we're going to place 1 double crochet. All right, you can pause your video here. Continue that pattern sequence of doing a front post double crochet followed by a double crochet all the way around, and I'll meet you back at the other side. And when you're done, you should have a total of 20 stitches in that row. Okay, we've made it back around, and like I said, you should have a total of 20 stitches. And we're going to slip stitch the join into the very first front post double crochet. Chain 1. All right, now we're going to front post double crochet into the very first post. Let me pull some yarn. Remember, push that post forward and complete your double crochet. And in your next stitch, you'll just see a regular double crochet. In this stitch, we're going to place 2 back post double crochets. I'll show you that one. It's a little bit different than the other stitch. So you yarn over, go behind your work and push that post backwards and complete your double crochet as normal. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to place a second back post double crochet into the very same stitch. So yarn over, go behind your work again, back through that very same stitch that we just did, push that post backwards, and complete your double crochet as normal. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. As you can see, this is what it looks like, a little twisted Y. All right, now we're going to repeat this pattern all the way around. So once again, yarn over and do a front post double crochet. Followed by 2 back post double crochets into this previous double crochet. That's a tongue twister. So yarn over, go behind your work, push that post back, and complete your double crochet. And we're going to place another back post double crochet into that very same stitch. So yarn over, go back into that same stitch, push that post backwards, and complete your double crochet. All right, so you can pause your video here, continue that same pattern repeat all the way around until you make it to the other side. Remember, front post followed by 2 back post double crochets. Okay, we've made it back around, and at the end of this row, you should have a total of 30. So each row you increase by 10. All crochet patterns follow a mathematical pattern, so little knowledge for you. Okay, we're going to slip stitch to join for this very next row. Chain 1. Let me give you a better view. All right, the pattern for this one is going to be a front post double crochet into the next stitch, followed by 1 back post double crochet into the next. So yarn over, remember we're going behind the stitch for this one, pushing that post back and completing your double crochet. And for the second part of your stitch, we're going to place 2 back post double crochets into the very same stitch. So yarn over and let's place those 2 back post double crochets into the very same stitch, just like the previous row. I'll show you the sequence again. It's going to be a front post double crochet followed by a back post and then 2 back post double crochets. So front post, 1 back post, followed by 2 back post double crochets into the next stitch. That's 1. Let's do another one into the same stitch. And 2. All right, you can pause your video here and just repeat that pattern sequence all the way around, and I will meet you back at the other side. Okay, we made it back around, and at the end of this row, you should have you should have a total of 40, because remember, each row increases by 10. All right, we're going to slip stitch to join into the very first front post double crochet. And chain 1. Okay, now we're going to front post double crochet into the very previous row's front post double crochet. So remember, push that post forward and complete your double crochet. Now we're going to back post double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So back post, 1, and 2. And into the third stitch, we're going to place 2 back post double crochets. So yarn over, push that stitch backwards, and complete your double crochet. And go right back into that same stitch and do another back post double crochet. You'll begin to notice a pattern repeat that we're going to place 1 double crochet into each double crochet and increase on the very last stitch. All right, I'll show you one more time. So front post double crochet, followed by 2 back post double crochets, That's 1, 2, and we're going to increase on that very last stitch. So place 2 back post double crochets into that last back post stitch. 1 and back into the same stitch. And 2. All right, you can pause your video here and continue that pattern repeat by placing 1 front post double crochet followed by 2 back post double crochets and an increase of 2 back post double crochets into that very third stitch. All right, guys, I'll meet you back the other side. Okay, we've made it back around and we're going to slip stitch to join into the very first front post double crochet. All right, from here on out, we're just going to do an additional 9 more rows of increasing. And what increasing is just adding 2 front post double crochet to the same stitch of the very last post of the previous rows. So you do a back post, back post, back post, 2 back post double crochets. All right, if you still don't understand, I'm going to show you a diagram in the next scene. And if you understand exactly what I'm talking about, go ahead and do those additional 9 more rows. I'm going to leave a timestamp below on where to jump to in a video. And for those who need a little more detail, let's hop into the next scene. This chart here will show you how to increase. Don't be afraid of it. The top symbol represents a double crochet. The next one represents a front post double crochet, and the next is a back post double crochet. And the last symbol will represent 2 back post double crochets into the same stitch. This is actually not the correct symbol, but my software doesn't make that symbol. The circle that you see in this diagram represents row 1 and 2. We've already completed rows 3, 4, and 5. Let's take a look at row 6. Remember, your green symbols represent a front post double crochet. To begin row 6, you'll begin with a front post double crochet followed by 3 back post double crochets and an increase. For row 7, you'll do 4 back post double crochets followed by an increase. Row 8, you'll do 5 back post double crochets followed by an increase. As you can see, each row adds an additional back post double crochet to the section. All right, we'll hop right back into the tutorial. We completed our additional 9 rows and now we're all done increasing. What we're going to do now is chain 1 and place a front post double crochet into the previous row's front post double crochet. And we're going to place 1 singular back post double crochet into the next 13. We are not increasing. So back post double crochet in each stitch across. Whoops, so you can pause your video here. Continue putting your 13 back post double crochets and I'll meet you when you get to this side. Okay, we completed those 13 back post double crochets and you're just going to repeat the same sequence all the way around by placing a front post double crochet into your post and 1 back post into each back post double crochet all the way around your work until you make it back around to the other side. All right, pause your video there and I'll meet you when you make it back around. We've made it back around and we are going to slip stitch to join to the very first front post double crochet. And once you do that, we are going to chain 1. Now front post double crochet into the very first front post double crochet. And next, we're going to back post double crochet into the next 11 stitches. So back post double crochet, this is 1. All right, continue placing back post double crochets for the next 11 stitches. So you can pause your video here and I'll meet you when you complete your 11. Okay, we finished those 11 and we have 2 more back post double crochets. And now we're going to do a back post double crochet 2 together. To do that, you'll yarn over, insert your hook behind your work into the very first one and push back not 1 but 2 stitches. So 1, 2, push those both back together and complete your double crochet. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And then we're going to continue that sequence all the way across. So front post double crochet into the next stitch. And then we're going to do a back post double crochet all the way across until you make it to your last 2 stitches. And in that one, you'll put a back post double crochet 2 together. All right, you can pause your video here and continue that pattern sequence all the way around. Okay, we've made it back around and we're going to slip stitch to join. All right, this row was considered a decrease. We're going to repeat this same exact row an additional 7 more times, where you'll place 1 back post double crochet into each stitch and place a back post double crochet 2 together into the 2 last stitches of that section. All right, so you can pause your video here, continue placing decreased rows for an additional 7 rows. All right, we made it back around. So what we're going to do next is chain 1, and we're just going to single crochet into each stitch all the way around. Simple as that. So you can pause your video here and continue placing single crochets all the way around your work. And once you get to the other side, you're just going to slip stitch to join and fasten off your work. And we'll move on to the very next step. Next, we're going to drop down on our hook size all the way down to a 4mm crochet hook to start the brim. And we're going to be working with 2 strands of yarn to make the brim a little bit thicker. So once you got your yarn attached, you're going to chain 1, single crochet into the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Next, you're going to put 2 half double crochets into the next 12 stitches. So yarn over, do a half double crochet into the next stitch, and do another half double crochet into the same stitch. We're going to do that for a total of 12 stitches. So pause your video here and continue placing 2 half double crochets into the next 12 stitches, including this one. Okay, we just finished that. You should have a total of 24 half double crochets in the previous 12 stitches. All right, now we're just going to single crochet into the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. We are going to skip, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. We are going to skip this very first stitch here and single crochet into the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, error coming up, 3, 4, let me zoom out. Oops, sorry. 5, and error, 6. Next, you're going to place 1 double crochet into each of the next 24 stitches. So do a double crochet. That's 1 and 2. You see where I ran into my tied-on piece. All right, you can pause your video here. Continue placing double crochets into the next 24 stitches, including the ones we just did, and I'll meet you back at the other side. Now we made it across and completed our 24 double crochet. We are going to single crochet into the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to single crochet the last 2 stitches together. So insert your hook into the stitch, pull up a loop, insert your hook into the stitch again, pull up a loop, Yarn over, pull through all 3 strands on your hook. Chain 1. Turn your work. We're going to skip the very first stitch and single crochet into the very next stitch. Let me zoom in. And we're going to single crochet all the way across, but we're going to leave the last 2 stitches unworked. So continue placing single crochets all the way across, and I'll meet you at the last 2 stitches of this row. We've made it to the last 2 stitches of this row, and just like before, we're going to single crochet 2 stitches together. So insert your hook into the hole, pull up a loop, insert into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all loops on your hook, and chain 1. And for your next row and your last row, we're going to do the exact same pattern all over again as from the previous row. You're just going to skip this first stitch, single crochet into the next, and single crochet all the way across until you make it to your last 2 stitches. And in those last 2 stitches, you're just going to single crochet 2 together, and you can fasten off your work. We made it to those last 2 stitches of this very last row, and we're going to single crochet that together. All right, now you can fasten off your work and you're all completed with your hat. And thanks to everyone who's already purchased their Littlejohn's crochet t-shirts. If you want to get one, make sure you check the link above and in the description box below. All right, if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And check out my other crochet hats. Okay, guys, I'll see you all on the next tutorial.